How Landon Argabright went from uncertain future in college baseball to earning a scholarship to play baseball in paradise in 12 weeks of training. Landon is a kid that I had the honor of coaching this past summer. Landon was just finishing up his second year of eligibility at a really competitive JUCO out here in Arizona, South Mountain Community College. During his spring season, he didn't see the amount of playing time that he would have hoped for or possibly could have gotten had he had gone to a different school. At the end of the spring season, Landon had no four-year offers on the table. To add to his frustration, he didn't know where to turn in order to get the offers from the schools that he knew he could play for. When Landon first approached me about training, he struck me as a kid with a lot of natural ability. There were just a few things within his game that I thought he could clean up in order to help him compete at the next level of baseball. Once we could get those things cleaned up, I felt comfortable reaching out to different coaches on Landon's behalf. Over the 12 weeks of training this past summer, 3 areas of focus built into his training program in order to get him ready to play at the next level were the following. Number 1, developing a catching style that was unique to Landon and that worked specifically for him. Number 2, getting Landon to understand how to create and hold deep positions. And what these positions were going to allow him to do was see more consistency with less effort. The third thing we focused on was getting Landon to understand the timing and the flow so that he could focus more on winning the game ahead of him and less on his fundamentals once he knew those were taken care of. Focus number 1, developing a style that worked for Landon. Landon had to figure out who he was behind the plate and be able to apply that to the next level. He needed to develop a style that was going to allow him to be consistent every single pitch of every single game. So one of the first things that I noticed with Landon's receiving is something that I noticed with a lot of catchers. They have really good hands, they have really good actions, but they tend to get overextended. And because of this, they struggle to present strikes across the whole zone consistently. The cause of this issue for Landon, his glove load was inconsistent. So we got to work trying to find a glove load style that works for Landon, something that he was comfortable with and could repeat every single pitch. We went ahead and put Landon through a series of drill progressions that were going to isolate his glove load and also isolate his path to the baseball and allow him to figure out how those things work together. It really allowed him to feel and isolate a proper glove load regardless of the stance he was working out of. Once he had an understanding of what a proper glove load felt like, he was able to develop a style of receiving, and that's when we really saw his receiving get to that next level. The second focus, getting him to understand how to create and hold deep positions. Within the throw, all this means is being able to create tension through hip separation and scap retraction, and that's going to allow us to apply force on the baseball for a longer period of time, which is going to result in more backspin, more velo, decreased pop time. Landon had a naturally good arm. He had a lot of natural ability, but when I watched him throw, I knew that he had more in the tank. What Landon really needed was an understanding of the relationship between his upper half and his lower half and how they work in sync through the whole sequence of our throw. That's when our throws really start to feel effortless. One of the drills that really clicked with Landon was the scap set throwing progression. What this allowed him to do was really get a good understanding of how to create and hold tension within our scaps and then how to maintain that tension throughout the entirety of our throw. While we're holding tension with the top half, the lower half is going to create that rubber band effect that's really going to snap our throws off. This allowed Landon to have more consistent throws, more velocity, more backspin, and better overall arm health. The third focus, prioritizing Landon's timing and flow through his receiving, blocking, and his throwing. Because he wasn't in sync with the pitch coming at him, he wasn't as consistent as he would have liked. He had a tendency to over-focus on mechanics instead of being focused on being in rhythm with your pitcher and the game ahead of you. We ran through a series of timing drills to give him a really solid understanding of where his body needed to be in order to receive, block, and throw properly. Some of the drills that work the best for Landon are kneeling timing progressions, getting Landon to start from a neutral position and be in flow with the incoming pitch. What these drills are really good for is getting athletes to understand where they need to position their body and what it means to be on time. Once Landon really got a good grasp on this and could implement it into his own work, he was able to build enough time into his sequences behind the plate. At the end of the summer, Landon was offered a scholarship to play baseball for Hawaii Pacific University. When I met Landon, he didn't know if he would ever play baseball again. Fast forward to now, he's going to play baseball in Hawaii, and to make it even cooler, his head coach was my catching coach in college. His name is Dane Fujinaka, amazing coach, a big inspiration for why I'm doing what I'm doing now. I got to see Landon grow and mature as a man and as a catcher, and I couldn't be more happy for his success. I'm looking forward to watching him over the course of his career, watching him develop, watching him apply these concepts to the next level, and really enjoy his time on the field. After training Landon, what I learned, most catchers struggle with common issues. They need to develop a style that works for them. They need to be able to create and hold deeper positions within their sequences. And they need to form an understanding of the timing, the flow, the cadence of the game in order to catch at the next level. Because these issues are so common, I've incorporated all these drill progressions and more into my remote training programs. I've had the opportunity to work with catchers across the country, some even across the world. These guys have seen a lot of success with these concepts, a lot of success with these drill progressions, and I'm excited to keep learning and growing with this community. If this story resonated with you and you think that I can help you, click the button below and fill out an application. I help amateur catchers gain the confidence necessary to perform every single day, and I give them the roadmap to help them achieve their goals just like Landon did.